Welcome to Evolve Here Now, the podcast for leaders who are advancing the meaning and impact of business success, full spectrum health, medicine, and high performance in all areas of life.
This is your home if you are a leader who is ready to step up your impact, inspiration, and personal evolution so that you can serve at the level you know you're capable of and beyond.
Join us now as we recharge, elevate, and accelerate you on your journey into this accelerated evolution community of the world's top influencers.
I'm your host, Talia Jacqueline.
I'm the founder, Satyan Raja, and once again, it's time to accelerate your evolution and your leadership.
Welcome to episode 5 of Evolve Here Now. Today we have a really special guest, someone who's really dear to my heart, a true inspiration that has been a true inspiration for me and continues to be a role model for really all life coaches and all people and all leaders who are in the field of help. And her name's Linda Robinson. So welcome, Linda.
Hi, Talia. Hi, Satya. So happy to be here with you.
It's so good to have you. Linda, I'd love for you to share a little bit about your background, but I know you've been in this personal growth industry for for 45 years, for a long time, and you've been coaching for almost a decade. And I'd love for you to share a little bit about your background and what drove you to become a coach.
Well, before you dive into that, I just want to make some acknowledgments here as well. And that is that, Linda, you've been, on my team for years now. How many years?
11.
Yes. Studying, training, staffing, guiding, co-facilitating, being part of faculty with Accelerated Evolution, testing levels. And you're one of the rare people I know who's been in human potential longer than I have. and you don't look, so that's a good thing.
I know. A lot of time and money investment, huh?
So, it'd be great. Yeah. So, you've got an extensive background, and I think it would be helpful for everyone listening so that they can see themselves and in your shoes and what you've gone through. So go ahead and take some time to let us know, what have you done? What have you experienced in life in terms of your profession, in terms of the helping world, and really what brought you to Accelerated Evolution? All right.
Okay. So, I started really investigating the growth movement, personal growth, when I was 18 years old, and I was in New York, and I realized that there was more to life than what I was living and what other people were living. And as a matter of fact, at that time, I was working for my first real job in New York City for an insurance company. And I remember my boss was just like, the only thing that tickled his fancy was his 2 weeks vacation a year. And everybody would be talking about their vacations, even when it was like 6 months away. That was all that they would talk about. And everybody hated the drudgery of going into work and the backstabbing in the office and all of those things. And I remember thinking then that this can't be the way life is. That life has got to be better than this. Mm-hmm. And I started on this quest from a deep knowing that all of us, our birthright is to have it all. That there doesn't need to be compromise, and it doesn't need to be settling, and that everyone can have a great relationship, financial freedom, family fulfillment, personal satisfaction. And I knew this in my heart, but I didn't have a role model. And I couldn't really find someone who was living that way. And so I started a quest to take every personal growth training that I could and just kind of chip away at everything within me that was between me and having it all. You know, all of the deep-seated attitudes, the beliefs, the core patterns, all of those things, the self-sabotages, the negative self-talk, you know, all of that stuff that had been going on that I was starting to identify. And I spent years and years just really chipping away at it and making progress towards having a really fulfilled and happy life. And when I met, actually my daughter had done a warrior camp and met you, Sachin, at that. And you were doing your first Los Angeles intro. And she said to me, she said, I have to go see this guy and I want you to come with me. And at the time, I really wasn't looking for a teacher, and I had done so much stuff, and I was just implementing it in my life and letting it simmer, and I really wasn't looking for more growth or a teacher. But then when I went to Los Angeles and was in part of that intro, there was something about Sachin, something about you that just really spoke to me and really connected to me deeply. And I really didn't know what exactly it was, but I knew that I had to do some work with this person. And so at the time, what you were offering was the Sex, Passion, and Enlightenment and the Illumination Enlightenment Intensive. And so I did both of those things, and both of them changed my life. I mean, doing Sex, Passion, and Enlightenment was all about really up-leveling my relationship and being able to know how to really connect deeply with my man and how to live in my feminine, to be able to bring out his masculine and his purpose in the world, and, you know, how to balance all of that with each other. And then the Illumination Intensive was all about finding out who I was, you know, at a really deep core level. And when I went back into my life, a lot of things started falling away of what wasn't me. Mm. You know, the things that I was doing for other people or whatever. And I was just started to really find my way of what really made my heart sing. And one of the things that I found made my heart sing was staffing the Illumination Intensives. So I started doing that, and then with your encouragement, with Sachin's encouragement, I became a facilitator and studied to master that particular life, that particular field.
And for those who don't know what that is, it's evolved now. We call it Kensho. It used to be called the Illumination Intensive in a 5-day retreat, and now we're able to bring people to this state of self-realization and knowing who they are. It's called Kensho in Japanese. Zen in enlightenment would be a broad self-enlightenment, but not enlightenment in the sense that one becomes some transcendental, elevated woo-woo being, but enlightened in the sense that they know who they are without a shadow of a doubt. You're not looking for other people to tell you who you are. You wake up and you know who yourself. So that's the essence of what that is. And you've been one of the best in the world, I have to say. Like really one of the most cutting edge and really one of the best facilitators I've ever seen in that. So
thank you. And for a long time, that was really my passion, was being an instrument of helping people awaken. You know, of helping them awaken to themselves, to be able to see themselves as really expansive, to be able to see their purpose, to be able to have a depth of just grounding in who they are, you know, and the stability in that, and to be able to have that barometer going through life of making decisions based on who I am, my goals. It's like, how can people have goals if they don't know who they are? And so that was really my focus for a long time. And when I started coaching, that was my most passion too, was to work with people and help them awaken. And then it started evolving as I started really seeing what makes my heart sing and what makes me really want to connect to people and to serve and what my gifts are. And it's really now become more of just that whole idea of, like I said, you can have it all, like total freedom and joy without compromise. And anything that says that if you put too many balls in the air, they're going to drop is BS. and it's not in my vocabulary.
Yes.
And it's like, you want to put balls in the air, and let them fly. And so that's really what my mission is in life. That's what I see as who I am in this world, and what my mission is and what I can help people achieve.
Yes.
And, I work with a lot of business people. I'm an executive coach also. I do life coaching, executive coaching, couples coaching. And what I do in any of the realms is help people balance in all of them. What we work on, Sacha, and what you've taught me is to work on the 4 F's or the 5 F's, family, fitness, finance, faith, and fun. And that's a really great guide. And I use that with people in terms of guiding people to having it all at a level 10.
Yes.
Not just in balance, but thriving, really thriving. So, that's what people are attracted to me for, because, truthfully, because of all of the work that I've done, my life is a reflection of that.
That's a big part of what we're up to here with Accelerated Evolution, is that our coaches, our guides, our master coaches are a demonstration and hold an integrity and hold a congruence of being that is attractive to someone else who wants to get support and help and coaching and guidance. Because what I've discovered, I'm sure you have, no matter how many courses we've taken, Linda, Talia, no matter what trainings we've done, unless we're being an example, a demonstration, a role model, then why would people want to purchase our offerings? Why would they want to engage us, putting their dollars and cents and time on the line when, it's not based on, I've seen it's not based on what the certificates are, what they are, although some do count. It's more based on the full congruence of us as a guide, as a leader, as a coach. Would you agree? What are your thoughts around that?
Yeah, well, absolutely. I think that people get attracted to that energy, to get attracted to it even before they know you real well.
Yes.
It's just when somebody's living their message, when they walk their talk, there's a specialness about it. It's like, I'm not going to go to an accountant that doesn't have their finances in order. I'm not going to go to, I prefer to not even go to a doctor that's not healthy. It's like,
Exactly. So tell us a little bit about your journey into Accelerated Evolution, what it means to you, what it is. You've been working this for a few years. So how would you describe it I'd like you to help describe it in your own way, what it is, how it served you personally and professionally, and how it can help other people who are thinking of learning to bring this on into their lives.
Yeah. So my journey with Accelerated Evolution, I did your earlier trainings and have been practicing these methods for quite some time now, since you started them. And I was just blown away by how quickly these processes, how effective these processes are. Like we're talking about, I've done a lot of things and was doing coaching with, some other modalities too, and just was so impressed. I'm from New York, and I've always been a results-oriented kind of gal. And when I just saw the results that people were having from one session, it just amazed me. And for myself, and so I had to really get to mastery with it quickly. That was my determination, to get to mastery with it, to practice and get sessions, receive sessions, give sessions. And of course, the result of that is that my life got better. Not only did I get, like you said, not only did I get to be a better coach, but my life improved. Mm-hmm. And all my dreams started happening. And, how would I describe accelerated evolution? It's a way of processing that really allows people to start with a problem, or to start, it might be in a contracted space of a problem. And by the time the process is over, they're in such an expansive space, they're feeling that you look at the problem and it's laughable. It's like you're in a space where when you ask them at the end of the session, how do you feel about this problem now? 9 out of 10 times you get people cracking up and just going, what problem? Or it looks, and from that space where the problem isn't so, you're not so enmeshed in it because you're in this expanded space. You can see it. It's like an overview. You can see it from not being in the middle of it. And from that space is where the solutions can come, and where you have more freedom and more spaciousness around you. And you can see opportunities that you didn't see before because, you had blinders on. And so that's kind of the way I look at it, is that it's an opportunity to discharge. Yes, it's more than discharge. You discharge, you free up your energy, you really burst through whatever's holding you back. And it's just really, like I said, pretty phenomenal. I mean, when I've been at the trainings and watched people go through, that so many people in a room, not just private coaching, but so many people in a room go through the accelerated evolution processes and the whole training. It's like I don't have a dry eye through the whole training. It's like I look inside it and start crying because it just wells me up inside how incredible it's making an impact in people's lives. I mean, I'm getting teary-eyed right now because it's just seeing something that makes such an impact in people's lives that is so quick and so effective and so immediate that it's just, so inspiring.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's very, very powerful. I felt the same, when I started studying and synthesizing what my mentors taught me, and, Yogeshwar, Charles Berner's teachings, Zivarad's teachings, all the work that we do with dyadic work, all the work that we do with these processes, and as you know, the spectrum is far deeper than just processes. I consider accelerated evolution a skill. I consider it an art as well as a way of life for those who wish to really live a life of equilibrium and tranquility and have spontaneous goals happen, not just hard-earned goals, but have goals earned through spontaneous manifestation, which can sound like unbelievable and far-fetched, but we all know it's not. We've seen it far too many. I've experienced it far too many times, and seen it far too many times, where a shift in consciousness aligns up, putting the person right in the right place at the right time. Now they're free of their charge, and so they have the confidence to make that introduction, to make that bold proposal, business proposal, whatever it is, and have payback coming from that. So to me, this is not only a psychological, spiritual, metaphysical development, it has strong legs in practicality. You know,
It's totally practical. I mean, I can't think of anything more practical.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Claudia.
Yeah, and something that comes up too around it is that that expansiveness, that you reach a place of expansiveness, but it's not so much the expansiveness, it's what arises within you from doing a process in accelerated evolution. So what's so beautiful that I've witnessed and brings tears to my eyes, even in the witnessing of my own experiences and my own life through it, is that it truly peels away layers that are shielding your soul's voice, really. And then you get to make decisions from that place. And that's really like the compass. So when we're talking about like these manifestations, it's truly coming from that. And that's the piece of everyone that is godly. It's a part of the divine. So it knows your next move. And so the beauty to me, especially through your demonstration, Linda, and yours, Satyan, and in my own life from what I've learned from you, is it truly is coming to a place of soul-mind unity. Mm-hmm. And then creating from that place, as opposed to creating from being still in your problem. So
yeah, exactly. And for me, I love the word flow. And for me, it feels like my life that I've been in flow for years. And what I mean by that is that it doesn't feel, like Sachin was saying, it doesn't feel like I'm having to do a lot to have my goals met or to generate the peace and the total happiness, the joy, and everything coming to me. It's like I don't actively, it doesn't feel like I actively do a lot. I mean, I know I take actions, but it's just a lot of the actions is doing the processing or doing whatever's in the way, getting rid of, busting through, or getting rid of whatever's in the way of me receiving.
Yes.
Or whatever it is that I want coming to me. And then it just, like you said, spontaneously, it seems like it spontaneously appears. And yes, of course, there's work involved, but it's really, it just also feels like a flow.
Thank you, Linda. Linda, I want to ask you, what would you say to other folks who are professional coaches, guides, helpers, healers, therapists, business consultants? What would you say to them regarding what we're up to here?
Well, like I said, I think this is the most powerful thing, and I've been involved in a lot of things. And I think this is the most powerful thing that I've ever seen. And not just for people to be the best coach that they can be, but even if they're not that interested in being coaches, just for people to make a substantial shift in their own life and be able to influence others that way. And of course for business people, and business is a small portion of how to and a big portion of who I am. Who you are,
your mindset, your mindset, and what you're transmitting, what you're living.
Right. I mean, you hear about all these people actors who make millions and lose it. It's about eliminating the self-sabotage, about being congruent with ourselves, loving ourselves, feeling worthy. And all of those things take some inner work. And this is the best inner work that I've ever seen. I really think that it's for anybody that wants to accelerate their evolution, their life, their prosperity, their health, really every area.
Yeah. And
Thank you.
Thank you. And you really are about that. You really demonstrate that, just having it all, like all of it. And I think that that's an integral part of really what everyone wants. and especially what makes a leader that much more impactful when other areas of life aren't being compromised, when it's all being elevated at the same time. So I'd actually really love for you to share, because I know in Accelerated Evolution and in life, everything exists in duality, right? So to know one, you have to know the other, and you are experiencing having it all. But I'd love for you to speak to maybe a time where you weren't in a place where you had it all, and that was being compromised, because I think that a lot of people listening are either at that place and wanting to move past that, and or have been there.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Or they're at a place where, you know, they're not as fulfilled in their career on some level, you know?
Yeah, you know, when I first started working with Satyen, I was a realtor and doing mortgages. And that was the time in the mortgage industry where everybody was fudging loans, and, you know, anybody and their mother could get a loan. And in order to compete, there was this pull for me to not be as ethical as I really knew inside that I needed to be. And I was really struggling with that. And when I did the first Kensho, had the first experience of who I am, I realized that I didn't have to compromise who I was in order to be the best loan officer, to be the best mortgage professional, that I could be me fully and be ethical and still be able to find the right people who are going to want to work with me. And that was a really big deal, because I actually almost quit the industry at that time, because it was a really big struggle for me. And I was not happy at all, and I was feeling burnt out. And it took it to a whole new level. And the other thing about it was that I really felt like I wanted to make a deep contribution to people's lives, and I didn't feel like real estate was enough of a deep contribution. And the thing is that at the time, I didn't even change what I was doing, but I just changed in terms of really connecting to the people that I was dealing with. So instead of feeling like it was burning me out, it felt like it was replenishing me.
Got it.
So I went from a place of feeling like I was burned out with real estate to feeling like every contact with each individual was replenishing me. Not just that I was giving to them, but that I was so involved in the connection, in the relationship, in the joy of it, that it was replenishing me. And of course, when I was feeling better with that, I was a much better wife and a much better partner, you know, and all of that. When I was going through those struggles, you know, I was irritable. I wasn't, you know, I didn't have it to give to my partner, you know, just all of those things. And it's like just how that one shift of being clear of who I was, and how the decision to stand in my own ethics and my own values and my own goals. And once I was clear about that, the universe supported it. You know, those are the kinds of clients I got.
And that came from an experience of the Kensho process.
Yes.
One experience, and that...
One experience.
Wow.
One experience from the Kensho process, you know, in the Illumination intensive process, but one weekend, and it shifted my entire perspective on everything. And the results were just unbelievable. All of a sudden, you know, my real estate started soaring. And like I said, even more important than the money was the satisfaction that I was getting instead of the burnout.
Yes. That's so wonderful. So you've shared a lot with us today, and on the full spectrum. I'm very grateful for your energy and your passion. And Linda helps test and train our facilitators to get them to top-notch levels of being. She's got a very powerful way of doing that. So those of you who have an interest in what we're up to, you'll have an opportunity to meet Linda directly at one of our trainings. And I'm very proud to have you on the team, Linda.
Yeah, it's an honor. It's an honor. I, especially being so young, starting out my journey of personal growth only a couple of years ago, having someone like you as a teacher, as a guide, as a role model it's really priceless for anyone at any age. So, I mean, for those of you listening, I know that you've experienced the power of Linda today, and she's a gem. She's a gem of a leader. So thank you so much for contributing and for sharing your wisdom and your experiences. It's such an honor to have you on here.
Well, thank you. Thank you for inviting me. It's really been a privilege. And, I look forward to meeting all the new people who are coming aboard.
Thank you for joining us on Evolve Here Now. To learn more about our programs, retreats, trainings, and to be a part of our community, go to acceleratedevolutionacademy.com.